Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. You have somehow slithered down into the dank underbelly of YouTube. Yes, it's the Aging Hippies Conspiracy Channel, formerly known as the Vegematic Deluxe Channel. I like to change things up a little bit. And I am more of an aging hippie than a vegetable. I worked pretty hard on becoming a vegetable in my youth, but it didn't take, so in spite of my best efforts, I'm actually an aging hippie. Welcome to the show. What do we got to talk about? Well, everybody's talking about sneakers. You know, the gold ones, gold spray paint over some cheap, crappy shoes that sell for $400 in limited edition. Well, they're surely going to go up in value, I would guess. Sort of like Trump steaks, Trump's casinos, everything the man touches. It's ghastly. They're horrible. They're the ugliest shoes ever invented. I don't even think Elton John on a bad day would wear them. But maggots are lining up for them. Yeah, well, they're going to have to spend a lot more, and he's going to have to sell a hell of a lot more shoes, because I don't think he's rich anymore, or at least he won't be soon. I love everybody, and since I also purport to love everybody, I have got to somehow love Donald Trump. But, you know, it's hard. It's not easy because you feel queasy when you see him, and, you know, it's kind of, ooh, yeah. I love the man, really, I do, honestly. And there's a big brouhaha going on in Canada these days. We had Tucker Carlson. Yes, that Tucker Carlson, before he went to Russia, he made a visit to the Texas of Canada, Alberta. He was Alberta bound. What can you do? You know, Alberta, they probably love the Russians as much as we Polish descendants love the Russians. They have beautiful supermarkets, right? You know, and they have locking carts. Isn't that amazing? We've been getting locking carts here for put your quarter in, and now it's gone up to a loonie. So I find it hard to believe that nobody's going to steal a shopping cart for one Canadian loonie. I mean, keep the loonie in it, you know, so what? Get home and hit it with a hammer or something. If you're homeless and you need a cart, you know, that's what they're there for. They cost a loonie. So, you know, in Russia, I guess the things are a little tighter, so they put their coins in, and they need it to buy a piece of bread, I guess, at the end of a long working day. I don't really like talking about politics, except when I do. This should be a place where you can leave all your troubles behind, forget about your cares, and just float gently downstream in a place in your mind that's peaceful and nice, and everybody's groovy, and everybody loves each other, and we're all going to hold hands through the computer somehow, psychically, I guess, and we're all going to think on peace. Because peace is probably the most underrated word in the human language. People don't understand that without peace, there can be no life. There can be no joy. There can be no singing, no dancing. None of that shit. It's all gone. Why? Well, because it's war, right? And I'm trying to counter all the hatred out there. So I'm sorry if sometimes I might offend people. I really don't mean to. I just want to be a place where everybody feels content and happy. Partake in the libation of your choice or the combustibles of your choice and relax and enjoy the show. I cannot let my positive attitude run out. I mean, I can't let it run out. I've got to remain on top of things and serenity now and all that stuff, because without serenity, I'm not going to be able to be serene, and if I can't be serene, then I'm not going to put out serene videos like this anymore. I'm going to be angry and get all riled up and everything. Somebody wrote me in the comments a really long comment because of my comment that I made about I guess it's not all boomers are bad or something like that, and it was this really long comment about blaming the generation that came before and saying, well, boomers all suck and everything. And I can't disagree on some level because I've always been an outlier. I'm not your typical boomer. In other words, I never grew up. And thank God I never grew up, because growing up is just, it's overrated. And you know, when you're a kid and you really want to, I can't wait to grow up, and then you grow up and you go, what is this shit? Well, this is not what I wanted. This is weird. Man, you mean nobody's gonna help me out here, and my career is not gonna explode, and we're not gonna have $1 million? $1 million, that's nothing these days, especially in Canada when houses are going for $600,000 average. And that's for a crappy place that needs work. So I don't know. We're lost in this world of greed, and people participate in it because their lives are empty and they need to fill it with material things, and they've got to be. Of course, everybody likes to be comfortable to a certain extent, but at what point do you say, "Hey, I've got enough crap in my garage that I'll never use"? And it's still there after all these years, and no, I want to get rid of crap now. And I'm thinking, all these things that I wanted when I was younger, I found as I got older, and I got some of the stuff that I'd wanted, that it didn't really mean anything. It just didn't seem as exciting. You know, we all dream about how wonderful life's going to be when you're a child, and you're going to grow up and be an astronaut or a race car driver or whatever. And you don't stop and think of the practicalities of these things. You're just worried about the kid that beats you up on the way home, and you're going to have to think of a way to make the kid laugh, because if you can't, you're going to end up on the ground and being pummeled. I did my share of being pummeled over my lifetime. I was never very good at sports. And nobody really grows up and accepts life until they've destroyed their ego and had it stepped on a few times. Otherwise, you end up a big narcissist like somebody unmentionable who is selling gold sneakers, and you're not going to do anybody any good. Yeah, see, I'm veering off again. I'm trying to keep this channel really positive. And I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to. I swear I'm going to. I'm not going to go off the deep end. I'm going to keep it together, and I'm going to keep saying peace, love, understanding. And these are the things that really count in life. But we discount anything that's worth something, like love and caring and compassion. And we trade it in for junk that we buy at the stores and that we don't need. It ends up filling landfills. And you know, if I look back over my life from the time I was a kid and think of all the stuff that I had that is probably disintegrating or not disintegrating in a landfill somewhere, it makes me embarrassed, because I know that I'm guilty of it. I'm as guilty as anybody in this culture of destroying the planet. We weren't taught to respect nature. We weren't taught to respect the land, to care about that stuff. I didn't know. I didn't know where anything came from. It's just like you got a product, and here it is, and this is cool, and you use it, and then you throw it away. And this cycle has continued for generations and generations and generations. And now, of course, we're buried in microplastics and garbage. And the climate has reached a tipping point. Yeah, well, you know, you can't worry about it. You can't be a doomer anymore. I used to be a doomer, a terrible doomer. And it just became so pointless to constantly be worrying about it when you're not doing very much about it. So I decided that I'd rather focus on building community, healthy relationships with my viewers, good friends. Life is really going great. It is, for all of us. And you don't think so, but man, you wait a few years and you look back and this will seem like paradise to most of us. Oh dear, I'm bringing you down again. I don't want to do that. And I keep fighting to stay positive. And it gets harder all the time because I gave up looking at the news. I gave up following things, except things that make me laugh, like gold shoes, like gold sneakers that are just really tacky and they're funny. I can't stop laughing. I can't imagine what those shoes will look like in a few years, you know, and they fade to the piss yellow. They're probably made with urine soaked canvas or something. They don't look like they'd be give you very much support, but I think if you went to a car lot wearing a pair of those sneakers, like a used car lot, oh man, that the salesman would be going, ha 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 ha, there's one. Okay, have I got a car for you? Yeah, you bought those Trump sneakers, aren't they beautiful? Now, let's take a look at this beautiful Firefly that you can have for really cheap. I don't know. Life is life, right? It's ridiculous, it's absurd, but it's all we've got. Okay, that's it for this time. Be well, everybody. Stay safe, for God's sakes. Don't run out into traffic. Don't do anything dangerous, because life is dangerous enough, and you know, you could go out tomorrow and you could have a piano drop on your head and that would be the end of it. And so rather than worrying about that, let's continue on and spread the love with the Cyber Hippie Love Tribe. Peace, love, everybody look after each other and stay sane if you can, and if you can't, go crazy in a good way. There's a difference between a good way of going crazy and a bad way of going crazy, and we want to choose the right mental illness to go along with our mood, right? So you don't want to go with depression. Manic depression, that's a little more interesting because you get shit done. Schizophrenia, it might be a little too weird, but good kind of crazy means that you're going to do things that are impossible and crazy and take on impossible tasks like saving the world. Yeah, we're gonna save the world. Until next time, this is the Aging Hippie wishing you a very groovy next few days. Thank you for watching. As always, leave your wonderful comments that give my life a sense of meaning. And as you know, I answer all of the ones that I'm allowed to answer. So if I didn't answer it, I didn't see it. It vanished into the vast tubular space that is a video sharing platform that we all have come to know and despise and love, but it's still there, and I'm still here. So thank you, and talk to you very soon. Good night.